Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. It is a brand new year. You're going to hear it over and over. A happy New Year's to you. But this is also a new chance to give it your all at work. And next, we're about to dive into the world of career development. And joining us are two experts. We have Sasha Knott, CEO of Job Crystal, and Vati Gilivane, a recruitment and community specialist for ALX South Africa. Ladies, great to have you both here.
Thank you for having us.
Are you ready? Are you ready for 2024? It's crazy. I would imagine this is kind of a part of the time of the year where everyone wants to play catch-up, especially those job seeking. Maybe they've had a lack of chill over the end of the year. Now suddenly they realize their life and future rests on the start of this brand new year. We're going to pump our CV out.
Yes.
And it must be amazing because how do you differentiate yourself when there are thousands upon thousands of these CVs going out? So maybe, Sasha, a good place to start would be with that, because it's kind of our calling card. It's how we knock on that door. What makes a good CV?
So it's a strange thing. So you get thousands of CVs, or we do. Daily you get thousands of CVs. It's the smallest thing. It's colour. So we get black and white CVs all the time. You just have to add a little bit of colour.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, you could use Canva and all these other things. You can also just use plain Word, and it'll give you a great format, a great template for your CV. Another thing is, like, have references, not contact my references, have a little bit of a recommendation at the top of your CV.
A blurb, yeah.
And the biggest thing is show your achievements. Were you prefect? Were you employee of the year? Have you done a marathon? List some achievements, because you have to stand out amongst those thousands.
And it might seem silly, but go for the stuff you are proud of, because that speaks to your personality, speaks to your well of positivity, those sorts of things. Pump yourself up, man. It's your chance. It's your opportunity. I love that.
I love that too. Now, Vati, as someone that has received and seen many CVs, when it comes to the layout, is there something people need to focus on? Because I feel like the whole cover page with your curriculum vitae, with the details in the front, I think that's unnecessary.
How many trees must die?
Oh, my goodness. I think, you know, we are in the digital era, right? Everything is online. Everything is tech-related. So when it comes to that, I always say keep it simple. Keep it basic. We're no longer in the time where we're doing like 21 pages of a CV that talks to your when you were born and
this is the social media era.
Totally.
Yeah.
So leveraging, you know, your digital profile and digital platforms like especially LinkedIn can act as where you tell your professional story, where you actually get to curate the content that you want to be seen out there as a young professional. Yes, you must still have a CV, but I say keep it tight, keep it tidy, 2 pages at the most. And just also another important thing to note is that when curating that CV, it's important to understand the job spec, right? Because you are an individual, yes, and you've got many talents. Read the job description and what they're asking for. Then ask yourself, do I have the capabilities, the talents, the skills that they're looking for? And you can customize your CV to talk to that.
And there are tools to help you do that. You've mentioned a couple, but even something like LinkedIn, they've spent billions to make sure that they present you in the best possible way. You're not going to be able to duplicate it. Use it. That being said, LinkedIn's become like a chat social network kind of thing.
The Facebook for working people.
Yeah, exactly. So this begs the question, because 10 to 1, the first thing a person's going to do when they see your CV and get your name is look you up online and go to your social media. So that, I mean, that can be a slightly different conversation, but it does beg the question how you represent yourself from that first take. Do you put a picture on your CV? and why or why not? What's your feelings?
Yeah, pictures are they're so subjective, because it depends what picture. So there's a rule. Do not put your wedding picture on.
Your wedding picture.
Damn it, but what if you've got really good wedding pictures? Like some of the best pictures we've ever seen.
Because you don't look like that every day. You know, it's a selfie generation. You can stand against a white wall and make sure that you are professional, look professional, and take a selfie and add that to your CV.
Because it does personalize it, and you're trying to make a connection.
It does. Like I said, you know, you see CVs of black and white over and over. The words aren't going to stand out. The photo is.
You could have 5 photos, and they could choose which one they think think you are to make it a bit more fun. No, don't do that. Please don't do that.
And I feel like this is like a Tinder profile. Don't take a photo where you've cropped someone out.
Oh, no.
Don't do that.
I promise you, that's
Don't
not my
do a
boss
selfie with a
anymore.
drink.
We ended the relationship.
Like I said, keep it tidy, keep it professional.
You know what? We all want to develop our careers, and those who are looking to, you know, send their CV out and find a better job, they need all the help that they can get. So, Vati, I love that you mentioned customizing or tailoring your individual CV for the job description. Do you perhaps have more advice for someone entering the job market, or perhaps putting feelers out there just to get a feel of what is available in their field?
Yeah, so when it comes to that, I think we are flustered with so much information out there, and there's so much competition because there's, you know, we all know the case of youth unemployment in our country. So again, the basics, there's something about starting with the basics that makes you just stand out. So we also know that young people are contending with the issue of 3 years experience, 5 years experience, but now you're a new graduate that just graduated.
And the best in your class, even.
And like, you're like, I don't have this 5 years experience, but what do I do? But one thing we overlook and always forget is the things that we do day to day that demonstrate the skills that we have. You might have an aunt or that asks you to coordinate their life, book them a dinner there, and Graham might want to go on holiday with his family and he just doesn't have the time because he's always working and he needs a virtual assistant by morning. In the afternoon, you're a makeup artist and doing someone's hair and maybe a photographer. On the weekend, maybe you're coordinating events for a CSI project or community project where you're doing fundraising. These are all skills, though you are not professionally in a formal traditional employment, that you can leverage in your CV and write them down. Having experience doesn't only talk to you were employed and you signed a contract, it was 3 years or 5 years. The things that we do day to day do demonstrate our capabilities, our talents, and our ability to do things.
i.e., I've been running a household with 2 children for the last 3 years.
Put it down.
Boom,
then.
put it down. It's funny you say this, because I remember one of the most proud job situations that I entered into. I'd been pounding the pavements looking for a job as a waiter during a very difficult time in the progression of jobs in South Africa. Turned down about 20 times in one day. I'd done a little bit of TV work before that. I walked into a restaurant. I saw the person performing, literally walking out. I was like, I can beat her. I can do this. And I walked in and I said, I've been on TV. I'm a TV presenter. I'm a trained actor. I can literally... And I went through my whole TV thing. She was like, literally picked up a phone, phoned the person, said, no, we don't need you. I think we've found the right person for the job. You don't know what is going to make that connection, but you've got to make a connection.
Absolutely.
And that happens with emotion, that happens with authenticity. So don't misrepresent yourself. You will be found out very, very quickly. Bearing in mind you're dealing with people who have adapted a very high sense barometer for that sort of stuff. But put yourself out there in a way that makes you feel proud so that emotion shines through. We're not going to let the ladies go anywhere. We're going to help you get that job for 2024.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back as we dive right back into what has been a brilliant conversation. We are talking careers at the moment with Sasha Knott and Vatiswa Gilevane, focusing on optimizing your online presence on platforms like LinkedIn, and I would suggest that extends to Instagram and Facebook and pretty much anywhere else your name can be found, searched and found. So, ladies, thank you so much for sticking around. This is a very busy time of the year for you.
I have to say, I learned the hard way that when you stalk someone on LinkedIn, they get a notification. I did not know that, so take note, ladies. But Sasha, maybe you can start off for us. How can we maximize a platform like LinkedIn in our benefits in our career?
Absolutely. So LinkedIn, like I was saying about color earlier, LinkedIn's got a profile picture, so your normal make that professional, but they've got a background image. And a lot of people lose of what you could do there. Again, color, something you're interested in. Show that interest, show the authentic you. You know, do you go mountain climbing? Do you run marathons? Do you...
Iron Man, that's a big one for the gents, I think, and the ladies at the moment. It's become like a massive badge of honor.
And that shows your persistence, your determination, you know, that you're willing to go the extra mile. add that in. Also, what you post. You know, we always say LinkedIn is out there. It is the Facebook of the business.
Yeah.
But careful what you post out there. And you can feature specific articles or specific posts that went well for you. So post them and feature them and get recommendations. They are huge on LinkedIn.
But it's just you're building your network. You're building your strategic network. And I've realized I'm working with a group of youngsters that are coming out of that varsity field. They are amazing, absolutely amazing, but they're still kids. And we're thinking about this transition now where someone's going to go and search for you and you're still very much representing university life. How much do you guys go and dig around people, and how much can you glean from a person's kind of social media account base? How should a student who's now shifting into a new phase of life handle or approach that?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. Simply because I believe, well, what we see as well is that what you post online stays online.
Online, yeah.
So difficult to retract, right? Just even if you don't know it, it goes viral. I think we've seen it in many
for
cases.
sure.
That's a discussion for another day. Also, another thing to understand about digital platforms is that what you follow follows you back.
Yeah.
Algorithms. So make sure that, you know, diversify a bit the things that you are interested in, because you don't just want to see a closed net of things. You want to understand what's trending, what's going on out there. So, like, if you keep following the same stuff
It's gonna just keep feeding you that.
feeding you back. So just remember those two things about digital platform. But another thing I would like to say to that is also that try and understand. You don't need to be an expert at this, but try and understand each platform. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and understand how you want to utilize it to your
As a
benefit.
tool.
Exactly. Like I said earlier, you are telling your story, but online, and how you, as much as you put out the positive stuff that you want people to see, but remaining authentic, when you now meet those people in person, it must colorate.
Yeah.
It must match up.
Yeah,
You don't
authenticity,
want
yeah.
a false representation.
Yeah.
So you're telling a story, and each platform serves a purpose. Try and teach yourself what each platform does and how you want to utilize it to tell your story.
We might have to bring you in for a different subject matter pretty much every time we talk about online, actually, because it's so worth knowing.
Well, now we're going to have to learn a little bit more about TikTok, because every campaign now wants to utilize the platform of TikTok, and I personally don't like dancing, so in my mind, TikTok's for dancing. But no, there's so many other elements to it. Sasha, my next question is to you, and this has got to do with remote working. We know that that has been on the rise. In fact, people are more embracing that. What are some of the things individuals that are considering remote work need to consider if they're doing a digital interview, or if they're doing, you know, the interview remotely for a job?
For sure, yeah.
So we've had a horrific, we do lots of virtual interviews. And there was this lady who's doing this amazing interview, doing this a second interview, and she had a bunny running behind her the whole way.
Awesome.
You have to make sure that you've got an office in your home that wherever
It's
it is,
bunny free.
it needs to have a wall behind you. You know, you've all seen that famous video of the guy who I think is on CNN.
Yeah,
And
I saw it again yesterday,
in the
yeah.
background. You know, make sure your camera faces a wall, not a door.
Yeah.
There's little things that you could just, you know, it won't look nice in your home, but it's about that interview that you need to be ready for. And if you're going to be remote ready, you know, have the digital tools, have your laptop. It's load shedding in
Power
South
backup,
Africa.
yeah.
You have to have a power backup. You don't have to have, you know, panels on your house. You literally can buy a little battery that you plug in that you're online for 2 to 4 hours. So it's critical to be ready for remote working, and I think that's critical.
Okay.
We've run out of time, so I'm going to ask you very quickly, okay, something that works just for you, because I know this still has to go through your personal kind of gateway at some point. What's an absolute must for you in applying for a new job?
Understand the job spec.
I love it.
Understand what you're applying for.
Understand what you're asking for. I love it.
CV, make it 2 to 3 pages, make it colourful.
Make it colourful and just be careful what you do online. Just be careful what you do online. Absolutely brilliant. Hopefully this has helped you as you take those first brave steps. I think the key take home for me, authenticity, and that applies to every level of life. You've got to let your personality shine, and I think there is a trump card that is surfacing in our space, definitely. If you can show your purpose, what is driving you, and that's maybe where the social media and all these digital platforms come to bear. If a person gets a sense of who you are, the why of what you're doing, that's something they can buy into. So be proud about who and what you represent and go out there and get it. 2024, it's your year, baby.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and joining us again to conclude our conversation around work readiness is Sasha Knott to share some valuable insights into the ever-evolving job landscape. And it is always a tricky one. Sasha, from an HR perspective, can you tell us how employees can, perhaps you have tips for employees to be able to fully utilize the space that they are in to grow their careers and to get the most out of the job they're doing every single day?
Yeah.
So, when you've got the job and you're in the job, you need to remember how difficult it was to get it. You need to be first in, last out, in the sense of arrive at work early and leave late. Specifically when you're young, you probably don't have to run home for kids or pick up or do school runs. Go and work those hours. We all did when we were young. So put the hours in. Make friends with HR. They're your backers. They want you to work, and they want you to work.
It's their job to do
well.
that, which is a beautiful thing. Yeah.
And if you create that relation, that connection with HR, it works so well in the business for you and for HR. HR is your cheerleader. So be their friend, make that relationship, make that connection with them, and then understand what your line management wants. Understand what you need to do to move up in your career. As long as it's about relationships, it's about connecting.
Yeah.
So make sure that there's a connection in that business.
And those connections, they will serve you. If you can find the right mentor that's looking after you, they are mutually invested in the outcome of everything that comes out of their mouth. And it's something that is used so beautifully in the right way. If you can just make that connection, get that champion on your side. I would say in accounting and in HR, those are the two sides that you really want on your side, in your corner, as you say. The jobs have changed. Even what we thought used to be, for instance, an HR job has changed and adapted. How do we then make sure that we have those soft skills, the other skills that often define success or failure when weighing up everyone who's got the same marks, all brilliant, they all went through varsity, it's all great. There's something else that makes you stand out. How do you foster that, or where do we even start identifying what that is? Okay, so we know we're a good accountant, but how do we become the best or most successful accountant, or whatever that profession is?
Nowadays there's webinars. There's free webinars in a lunch break. They run on LinkedIn all the time. Completely free. Join in, go listen, go and learn.
Yeah.
Read. I love the saying, readers make leaders.
Yeah.
If you go to read those books, read that thing that's going to help you. There's self-improvement. There's always something you can do. And ask your inner circle, what makes me tick, that makes me work for you, that'll make me work for somebody else. So figure what your plus is and make it a bigger plus.
And ask your boss what they want.
Exactly.
If you've got a moment by the water cooler, ask them what they need. You might get a little gem there, something that could define your career.
And also set you apart. I want to go back to the making connections within the workspace, but I now want to put the spotlight on the individuals that started off their job doing a virtual interview, and then they are now working remotely, so they haven't really been able to connect with colleagues in person. What advice do you have for them to stay part of a network and be part of it?
Yeah.
So, virtually you can still have those virtual one-on-one setups. Be the forward thinker and go and set up that one-on-one with your boss. Go and, hi, can we have 15 minutes, once a week? I just want to kind of connect a little bit, find out what's working, what are you looking for from me, am I doing something right? You need to take the step forward to go and do that. It's the 15 minutes. You can't do the water cooler now because you're not in that kind of office. But WhatsApp is a strange little culture vibe that creates those groups where you can go and share some stuff. We used to all, when email came out, we used to share jokes. It now happens on WhatsApp, and it creates that culture a little bit. So use the tools, use the virtual tools that work for you, and you'll figure out what your new culture and what your new relationships are. But you're going to have to make the effort.
Yeah, and that's it. Just the sign of effort is often that first massive box ticked. So if you can just show that you're willing to go the distance, no one's looking for a finished product when you start in a new job. So just make sure that you can prove that you're willing to go there, to ask the questions, to sacrifice what you need to, and stand firm. I think that's something I've discovered in our industry. If you show the strength within yourself, you won't get walked over, but people respond to that. They see you as someone strong that they can rely on as well. So standing up for yourself isn't necessarily a bad thing. You've just got to be savvy about it and keep HR in your pocket, man. You've got to have them close by. Well, we hope these insights have helped you in what promises to be a very exciting career journey. Good luck.